So if you had asked me as a child how the future would look right now, I would have talked with a lot of excitement about our technology, our entertainment, and our design. And I would have talked about a world where everyone has the same access to all the information there is. I didn't want to wait for this future, but to be a part of its creation. So I became a technical designer, someone who bridges between the innovation and the production of new technology and new media. Most of the time, I'm working on serious games, apps, museum installations that bring complex ideas that are important to life. And because these ideas and these concepts are so important, I always tried to have a target audience of everyone there is. Or at least that was what I thought. While I was working with a technology that is able to understand where you are looking on your monitor, on your PC, the so-called eye tracking, I came across a video that changed everything for me. In this video, you can see a young boy going to music school. And his favorite instrument was the piano. But because of an accident, he wasn't able to move his arms anymore. He couldn't play the piano. What the people behind the video did was genius. They took his physical piano, connected it with a tablet PC that could do this eye tracking and could understand where he was looking. And on this tablet, they put all the keys from the piano, but virtually. And then he was again able to press these keys just with his eyes. And they even connected this tablet to the real piano, so he was able to play his real physical piano again. I was completely blown away by this. The boy was able to express himself again. And this idea completely destroyed the barrier between the physical space and the digital space, between the space with limitations and the place of opportunity. If you want to get into this topic, the great thing is it's easy to start because you just have to get a feeling for it and think about it. But what I realized is I've built so many apps, games, installations, and all that for everyone that I've never thought about it. I have never thought about the topic of digital inclusion. And then I was starting to think, okay, I have never thought about it. So was it just me, or was there a bigger problem? And I got my answer a short while after in a very funny way, because I was supporting a team that was building a new app. And in this app, they had quite a lot of information. So they tried to sort this information with colors: red, green, and blue. Because I have started to learn something about digital inclusive design, I knew that these specific colors they choose were a problem for the more than 300 million people worldwide. Just a small portion of the more than 15% of the world population that I have never addressed before with the stuff I have built. Now comes the funny part. We were discussing this topic, these colors, in the group, around 12 people. And then one of the programmers very uncertainly asked, wait, so these are 3 colors, not 2? He himself had a visual impairment in form of color blindness. And no one in this team that has worked for years together has talked about it or knew about it. And they have never discussed any other accessibility issues. Not because they're evil and they want to exclude people or something, just because they lack the basic information and awareness about the topic. After the meeting, we immediately implemented different colors, took us 2 minutes, and started other initiatives for inclusion. And these initiatives are easy to start and easy to get a grasp on by categorizing them into 3 categories. These are, I have to say, all under the premise that you generally have access to the digital world and technology. If not, that's, like we know, a completely other issue. But if we have these 3 categories and we start to think about them, the first one is perception. We have our 5 senses we perceive our world with. Now imagine one of these senses does not work for you. Are you still able to get all the information in the digital world, in the media and so on, or are you excluded from it? Let's make an example for this. Maybe we have a website, and on this website is an animation with infographics. Important information. But if you don't have any descriptions about it, someone with visual impairment cannot get the information in it. What we can do, and what is super easy, is to have additional descriptions or even have audio descriptions that read out the information inside. So we give the same information to more than one sense. That's the first step. Now that we can get the information, we have to think about, are we able to interact with this information? If you're not able to use a mouse, can you use a keyboard to navigate the program? If you're not able to move at all or type at all, is there an option for voice commands? We want to give everyone who's using whatever they're using the option to do it in more than one way. Sounds familiar, right? The same as perception. Perceive in more than one way and interact in more than one way. But now we have the third topic, the one that is very often forgotten when we talk about digital inclusion. It's the content. When we have talks about disability, we often talk about stereotypes of physical disability. But there are a lot of people that have mental disabilities, disabilities we cannot see. So we also have to think about the content we're producing and having it not overly complicated, having it not put into very long sentences that are not easy to understand. And we also have to think about people that are getting distracted easily visually when they have a big page in front of them and everything is blinking, advertisements and animation and all that. If you're not able to concentrate as easy as others, that's a nightmare. So for them, we can keep our content easy to understand and well structured. And we can also be consistent with the things we do. When we build like information about a row of events, we can structure them all in the same order, all in the same ways. Because then it's easier to navigate them, to have a better understanding of the hierarchy. You don't have to learn it every time anew. So these are the 3 important questions. First of all, can you perceive the information in more than one way? Can you interact with the information in more than one way? And is the content well structured and easy to understand? These 3 questions are not the answer for everything. these are just a starting point for you to go into this topic, to adventure it. And there are a lot of great solutions right around the corner. We don't have a solution for everything, so we have to find some more, but we can do it together. And most of these solutions are not even hard to implement or cost much time or money. We just have to think about them. And another very important point. Please, 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 don't produce something for people with disabilities without them. Have a collaborative process. And when you're doing this and you're working together, of course, you're learning a lot. But please additionally keep in mind, we are talking to individuals. When you're planning an event in Germany, you don't just ask one German person how he likes it. You ask many, because they're individuals. The same way, when you try to optimize whatever product you're working on for people with visual impairment or other disabilities, you don't just ask them by asking one blind person. That doesn't work. Ask many. And you're probably going to get different answers, but then you have something to work on. I just want to give you the mindset to start this journey and to go inside this topic that is very easy to get into and very nice to get into. But you might now think, okay, so sounds nice, but I think this topic is more something for big corporations, programmers, designers that are building their apps, and it does not apply to my daily life. Not important. Totally wrong. This is important for every mail you write, for every PDF you create, for every event you're planning, and for all the media you're sharing. In your work life and in your free time. This is not a to-do we do once, and then it's checked off and finished. This is something that comes with us wherever we go in the digital world. This is not a campaign after that we can say, woohoo, we have done something about digital inclusion, finished, nice. No, this is something we have to do constantly with others and talk about. And we all have to take part in it by perceiving the problem, reinventing our interactions, and creating great content. Should be something for everyone. I just want to give you this mindset to take with you and to work on it. And the great thing about it, nobody has to do it alone. I, myself, I'm still learning so much while working with people with disabilities when I'm building creative programs for people with disabilities that bridge this digital world and the physical world. And I want to take you with me towards this digital inclusive future. A future where our technology is inclusive. A future where our entertainment is inclusive. And a future where our design is inclusive. Just like I dreamed of as a kid. Thank you.